good morning. This is Wilna Furstenberg and welcome to another art journal video. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make sort of a fall type of art journaling page. Well, not type of, definitely fall themed. These are little leaves that I cut out with my silhouette, and I actually used the negative for something else. Different project that you can also find on my YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. And now we're just going to paint the leaves. So I've done this a couple of times this fall and I still love to do it. So this is really a fun exercise. You can see the background that I've splattered all over it already. So these are just tiny leaves that I'm going to paint. And I'm using yellow, orange, red and green to do it. And I'll quickly show you how to go about doing this. I must say this is one of my absolute favorite art journaling pages that I've made ever. And I think it's just because it's so simple. I like to think of myself as a minimalist art journalist. I don't overwork my pages. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think I just want to keep the process for myself as simple as possible. So you can see that I'm actually working from right to left, and I started with yellow and a little bit of orange, and now I'm doing red, and just here and there lightly touching the leaves, cleaning my brush regularly, and then adding another color to that, a little bit of orange again, and then I'm going to do yellow. So this is how simple it is. And now you just want to let it dry, and then I'll show you in a couple of minutes how we're going to finish that. But for now, we're just going to add a little bit of texture to our page. I'm using the Tim Holtz stencil that has a very lace-like quality. And this is a new type of paste that I'm going to try out. I bought it at Michael's, and it's called the Modeling Paste HD. And it's a high density relief paste. And it worked quite well. I can't really say that it's a lot different than just light molding paste. But yeah, it just works well. Any kind of paste, texture paste, molding paste, works well with these stencils. And you can see how pretty the lace look. Of course, I prepped my journals with gesso. And now I'm just going to soften the edges by using my knife and just sort of, blending the stencil in with the page so that it's not such a harsh line where it ends, if you know what I mean. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And now just have to leave this to dry. I prepped my pages, that's what I wanted to say, with gesso. And I'm sure you can see it in other videos if you're unsure. Just a teaspoon of gesso with a credit card. Now I'm just splattering ink. I bought these inks from Michael's and I used a coupon for it. And there's 8 colors and I just love it. I think I'll be using a lot of it in future. I love the pure colors of it. And I'm splattering red and green on it. And you just want to, the Afrikaans word is tik, tap. The English word is tap. You just want to tap the brush over your finger to make those little, it takes a little bit of practice, but it's super easy to do. You actually can do it quite accurately. And there you can see I'm using red. I think the other color I used was maybe a purple or a brown. Doesn't matter. So once your molding paste is dry, we're going to paint. So I'm just squeezing some Prussian blue right out of the tube. And this is just a bold application of paint. And you can see how lightly I'm painting over the lace stencil, because the moment you just paint over it super lightly with such a light touch. The relief shows and you can see it, and isn't that pretty? I just love that. So I'm going to work it back, but for now it just has to dry first. So that's how simple that part of the art journal is. Just paint it. You can use any color, of course, but I love the blue. I just love the blue. So once it's dry, let's see what I'm going to do now. I can't remember. It's quite a bit. Oh, it's just a little bit of gesso, and now I'm just painting some of the blue back a little bit because I felt it was a little too much. I knew right from the get-go that wasn't the last of it. So I'm just painting it back. Oh, one of my brush bristles got out of hand, so I just cut it off. So you can see the paint is probably not 100% dry. And gesso, why I love gesso is because it's a little bit more transparent than other acrylic paint, like white acrylic paint. So I'm blending it with a tissue. You can see there you can use your finger as well, which is a lot of fun. However, it's actually best to dry it just a tiny bit before you start blending too much. So I actually did use my embossing tool just to dry it a little bit more, and then make sure that you change your paper towel often. But you can see how nicely it blends, and you can also see how the lace molding paste part is starting to come out, and that made me super excited. Just love that idea of that happening. So next up, I'm going to use Mod Podge, and I'm just going to paste down 2 old book pages. And what's going to happen is this is going to actually be a guiding line for my journaling. And this is a little trick that I love to do. And obviously I didn't invent it, and it wasn't on purpose. It just happened that I found whenever I use a book page below my journaling, and even if I paint over it, the lines of the book actually is a great guide if you want to do a lot of journaling on your layout. So that's a cool idea. So I'm going to just stick it down. This is a German, I think a cookbook dictionary. Can't even remember where I got it, probably from Value Village or somewhere. And I just want to stick it down, and I'm going to paint over it in just a second. And I'm blending just a little bit of the blue around the edges just to make that line where the paper meets the background a little bit softer. And then I think the big thing again is being patient, waiting for paint to dry, which I never am. And also that's why it helps when you work on 3 or 4 journals at the same time. Set aside maybe a journal day. That's what I do, and I just create. And while one is drying, the other ones, you can work on them. So at least that satisfies a tiny bit of the impatient part of me. I'm painting it white just with gesso, and you can see it does shine through a tiny bit. That's why I love gesso, because it's a little bit more transparent. And this is really starting to look good to me. I think I'm not going to work more on the background. I like this look. And now I'm going to add my leaves. So the blue is a beautiful background for the orange to pop. They're complementary colors, so they really look good together. And that's basically what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking I didn't want to use Mod Podge over the watercolor paints. I didn't know if it's going to flow or what. So I decided just to go ahead and use my hot glue gun and just adhere the leaves. You can use any adhesive. Maybe if you want to use Mod Podge, just test it on a tiny leaf. And they really look like real leaves, so it's really pretty. So cute. And I think doing this, you know, in the right hand corner and left bottom corner is a cool idea, just to mirror the pages, but they're not exactly symmetrical. So I'm skipping forward to where I adhered all the leaves, and you can see I just bundled them up. They overlap, and that's totally fine. And now I'm just going to add my title, and then I'm done. Oh, and some paint splatters, of course. So orange, just a little bit of the watercolors that I used for the actual leaf painting, just splattering some orange over it, and it really turned out so pretty. I just absolutely love how it turned out. So once it's dry, again, I'm going to just do the title, and the title was inspired by a beautiful song by Matt Redman called Songs in the Night, and it's just a beautiful song. And I'm going to write I will wait here. And now I'm just going to add some black ink splatters, tiny bit. And you know what I love? If you tap your brush over your finger, you can see how fine is the splatter. So that's lovely. And there you go. Here you can see I added my journaling, and you can't see the pages below, but they do provide a great guide if you want to write straight. And you can see more images on my blog, wilnafurstenberg.com. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another art journaling video. Bye bye.